Hello and welcome to the 2024 season of Beyond Camping Rental Vans. It's the first of our fleet and it's the Wingamm City Suite. It's a 2-berth camper and I'll show you around the outside. Here we've got the fridge vents. Don't need to do anything with them, just know what they are. We've got an outdoor shower. If you've got the water pump on inside, then you can use this to clean boots or dogs, etc. The electric step, which is operated by a button inside, and this is where our water tank is. There's a key in your set of keys. Turn that, open it up, you've got a hose extension, fire that in there, turn the tap on, and when your feet are wet the tank's full. You can access your water levels inside, we'll show you later. The Wingam's different in that all the doors are connected by the central locking system, so you need to make sure everything's closed properly for the central locking to work. This door is a particularly annoying one, but when you get the knack, it's good to go. So we open this up, you've got space for bikes, all your storage, etc, etc. Just make sure if you're putting bikes in, tie them down, and just do a wee test. Take it out on the road. If there's things moving about, stop, pull over, see what's rattling. To close the door, place it down, and you just want to click it on either side, and that way that's it locked. Extra storage in here on the side. Toilet cassette, I'll show you in a separate bit. This is where we hook up to the mains, so you'll have an electric hookup cable. My only advice here is to plug into the van first, then plug into the mains electric, and vice versa, so you're not carrying a live cable. When you've got the boiler on, this is just the exhaust for the boiler. It's important to remember that there's a wee sensor here. If the boiler's on at all, whether it's hot water or heating, if this window's open, the heating won't work, and there'll be a wee error code on the heating controls. That's what that is. So this window needs to be closed for the boiler to work. That can be heating or hot water. On the passenger side, you've got the diesel cap as well. It's just the main driver key, and there, turn it, fill with diesel. AdBlue should be full. If you do need AdBlue, just buy a bottle, keep the receipt, and we'll reimburse you. Moving into the inside, above your head as you come in is the control panel for all the power lights and water pump. In here as well are your water levels and wastewater levels. So just to turn everything on, hold the power button in the top left, bottom left corner, give it a second, and yeah, if you just come in, so the first icon's 12 volt, if you put that on, that just means that all the USB points in the van will be live. That's the water pump, as you can see is on. You can turn it off if you need, but I just leave it on. It only runs the battery down when you actually use the tap, so just leave that on. Outdoor light, so that's just under here, and then auxiliary power, so that's all the lights in the van. So all the switches are now live with that blue light on. Programs just sets the date and time. These are your wastewater levels, so click on that. We're showing 55% in the freshwater tank, and we've got 20 in the waste. So we could probably look at emptying the wastewater tank and giving the freshwater a little boost. And then we've got battery levels as well. So we've got the vehicle battery, which should be fine most of the time, although good to have. And then the habitation battery, which is the battery powering all the lights on this side of the van. Before you leave the van, just make sure you hold down the bottom left button so you turn everything off. When you get to your campsite, once you put the power on, next thing you want to think about is your fridge freezer if you're using it. If you're at a campsite and you're hooked up, you'd probably want to put the fridge on hookup, so it'll run off mains electric. If you're wild camping, so you've not got access to mains electricity, make sure the gas bottles are already on automatically, so you just press the gas flame and then that would run the fridge off the gas. When you're travelling, just before you start the ignition, press the battery icon, and what will happen is if the fridge has been on, then the vehicle battery will just keep the fridge at temperature and freezer. You can also change the strength of the fridge as well. To swivel the front cabin chairs, it's just this wee lever here on either side. All you need to do is just pull the lever down and then just tilt the seat all the way around to wherever you like. It's important to make sure that when you're travelling and driving, that it clicks back into the front facing position. To use the toilet, it's fairly straightforward. It's similar to most toilets, except you've got to pull a latch open. So there's a latch here at the bottom. You pull that out, open the lid, do your business. There will be toilet chemical in the van, in the cassette, will give you extra, so when you've emptied the cassette, put another dosage in as you get a fresh one. Once you've done your business, just hold down this button here. That'll flush water from the water tank into the cassette. Power needs to be on for this. And then just close that lid and push the level back in. On the passenger side of the van is where you'll find the toilet cassette. And there's a key, metal key on your set of keys that'll open that. You pop it in and turn it. And that's the cassette there. All we're doing when we're taking the cassette out is lifting this latch here, sliding the cassette out and taking the cassette to the designated emptying point on your campsite. Take this cap off, tilt it, give it a good shake, and then just do it in reverse, putting it back in. Make sure it just clicks back in place. If you're struggling to pull the cassette out, it's probably because the latch in the toilet's still open, so just make sure that's properly shut. And then once you've emptied it, you would then go in, just drop another dosage of toilet chemical in just to start afresh. Just below where the toilet cassette is where you would empty your grey water. So any water that runs through the tap or the shower will come into a separate tank. You see the levels inside, as we saw earlier, it was 20%. So what we do is a designated areas, we go in and just turn this lever here, and as you see, water starts running out. Once it's emptied, turn it just to close it off, and that's you. Obviously the van works off refillable gas, and all we ask is that you come bring the van back full of gas and diesel as well. You'll need to Google petrol stations that provide LPG gas. It's straightforward, it looks like a petrol hose, and it just latches onto this device here, which is under the toilet cassette. You just turn it on, pull the lever down, and you hold the button and it'll fill with gas. It does make quite a loud noise when you take it off, so don't be surprised by that. And it's fairly cheap. If there are issues with that, just give us a call, we'll find somewhere nearby. The nearest one I can think of is Morrison's in Kilmarnock, if you're going back that way, and you can fill up there. Just before you leave, just do a final check. So you want to check that you're unhooked from the mains electricity. Everything you've got is back in the van and packed, de-rattled and secure. Also you want to make sure the step's in. The button for that is just here. And then finally just make sure that all the doors are properly secure, because as I said, the central locking system won't work if any of the doors are open, and also there will be a beeping when you start the engine that won't go away, so make sure all the doors are closed. Apart from that, have a good time. See you later.